This is the
Yeah.
one where he was just, I texted him about it and he said he didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to make him talk about it. Because I think he can offer insights here. And we're sticking with the Steelers. Their offensive leader, Kenny Pickett, first guy drafted in his, or first quarterback drafted in his draft class, went to the University of Pittsburgh, was a huge star. Pittsburgh loved him. I know you love him. And now there's wonders, is this not the guy? Is he not the franchise guy? So to give you some stats to work with, I've already sent you a few of these, but yesterday, Tommy DeVito, the rookie third-string quarterback for the New York Giants, threw 3 touchdowns in one game. Kenny Pickett has thrown 2 touchdowns in his last 7 games. So another one with Tommy DeVito, who just starting last week. Tommy DeVito now has more career games with multiple passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett passing touchdowns, 6. Dallas Cowboys defensive special teams touchdowns, also 6. Notable quarterbacks with more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett since the start of last season. Davis Mills, 17. He's now the backup in Houston. Marcus Mariota, 15. He has not attempted a pass this season. Matt Ryan, 14, is in the broadcast booth this season. 315 quarterbacks have 500 pass attempts since the merger. Only one has thrown a touchdown on fewer than 2% of his attempts. Kenny Pickett. So, well, listening to those stats, what do you think first? What's your reaction to that?
It's unfortunate. I don't know what else you want me to say. So,
I'm not doing this to like torture you, because
you are torturing me. That's why I didn't want to talk about this.
That is not my goal. My goal, as I smile, but my goal is not to torture you.
Keep going.
Do you think that Kenny Pickett is the answer for the Steelers franchise?
I honestly hope he goes somewhere else.
What do you mean by that?
I truly believe that if he's not in this organization, he will do well.
Okay. So what? Okay, what? Finish your...
I was just going to say, I don't think, first of all, everyone's going to, I really, truly believe that I want to see what he would do under completely different coaching.
Okay.
Not even Mike Tomlin, like offensive coordinating, like a lot of people are like always blaming Matt Canada, but now they're blaming Kenny. The problem is like last season, he was very confident in his place. He was consistently getting to those things. Granted, he hadn't thrown a touchdown and stuff, but like this season, I don't know what's happening, but like he is not confident at all. Mm-hmm. If you look at his stats from last season, there was a game against Buffalo where he threw 350 yards. Mm-hmm. No touchdowns, no interceptions. It was a bad game. It was like 35-3. We got blown out by Buffalo, but like I really believe that he can be good somewhere else. And honestly, I mean, the one thing I do also know about Pittsburgh, like the Pittsburgh organization, is that they sometimes listen to the fans. And by that, I mean, they were really pushing for Kenny Pickett to go in. And sure enough, they did put Kenny Pickett in. Now, Kenny Pickett isn't doing well. If they bench him, the problem is would you rather have Mitchell Trubisky in Pittsburgh? Would you rather have him in there? I personally would rather have Mason Rudolph in there if we had to bench Kenny. But the problem that I have is at this point, I don't even know if, like, I just think it's a complete offensive failure. Like, I don't even know if it's just Kenny Pickett himself or if it's just the entire team, because we've already talked about morale. And like George Pickens is unhappy. Deontay Johnson's unhappy. Najee was not getting going until Broderick Jones went out there. And now he's actually running up the middle and getting holes open with Warren. So I feel like there's a lot of offensive issues. And that would probably lean on the coordinator. If you had a new coordinator, maybe that'll say a lot. Because then at that point next year, if you have a new coordinator, then you'll be able to figure it out. Like, oh, Kenny Pickett just threw 4 interceptions in his first game with his new coordinator. He stinks. Okay, well then, yeah, at that point, put in somebody else. But the problem is this whole entire season we've been saying, Matt Canada. Well, the problem is I saw it even like you don't know who's calling these plays, but like whoever's genius idea it was to throw a check down to Jalen Warren whenever there was 3 guys waiting for him on the left-hand sideline is the biggest idiot ever. Like, these are high school plays. No wonder the defense can rip them up because it's easy. But the problem is at this point, I would love for Kenny to go somewhere else just to prove them wrong, more or less. Because I think Pittsburgh needs humbled. I really do. I think my city needs humbled right now.
I agree.
I think we need humbled. I think we need to move Kenny along and then have him go to like a New England or have him go to Cleveland. Have him do great and bring in like Caleb Williams or something like that, because he's not going to get drafted as high as he initially thinks. I don't know, because Caleb Williams was supposed to go 1, but then since he got hurt, he like dropped low in the Heisman watch. I don't know if he's going to go number 1 anymore. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that could come out this year, including like Jaden Daniels, as I had mentioned and stuff. But I would love for us to like draft another quarterback or like have to run with Mitch, and then for like 5 years we just suck. And then like Kenny Pickett goes to like, bunch of playoff runs and stuff like that. Because I truly believe that we are also like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like on the outside, like looking at because we talked about, there's an organization, like not organization. There is a problem inside the locker room. There is toxicity. There's a lot happening in the locker room. But outside, it's the same way. So the fans are the same way. Fire Pickett, or not fire Pickett. Bench Pickett. Fire Canada. Fire Tomlin. This guy sucks. That guy sucks. Trade this guy. Trade him. Get rid of him. Drop this dude. These players look at that.
Right.
Yeah, you even mentioned it that what was it? There was a guy that was like looking at his stats last year. He went on his phone. Was like looking at his sack.
Oh, TJ Watt.
Yeah, TJ Watt. Yeah. So I thought it was TJ, but for some reason I was getting Logan Wilson confused with that. But it makes you like think that it's like, obviously at some point they got to hear the noise. And you got to believe that that's not building correctly on their character.
For sure.
So
you finished.
No, I was just gonna say like, and obviously like you saw how everybody was believing in Kenny and how he was looking promising, and then they stopped believing in the offense, and now they stopped believing in Pickett, and now you can see the decline. Now, granted, he did have a rib injury a couple weeks ago, but I don't know. I mean, do I think he's the answer? I guess we would pretty much find out next year when we actually have an offensive coordinator. And at that point, if he doesn't, well then, yeah, he's probably not the answer. But I think right now we're jumping the gun way too soon because of the coordinators and stuff. But if they want to go drop Jaden Daniels and then go trade Kenny Pickett away, I hope he shines, brother. I hope he shines.
Going back to kind of Mike Tomlin though. Like, I think no one is asking or has pointed out that I've seen, to my knowledge, this is the first time Mike Tomlin has had to set up a team for a rookie franchise quarterback.
That is true. He's only ever worked with Ben.
He had Ben Roethlisberger his entire career. He had Mason Rudolph for injuries, and they had Mitch as a backup, and he started Kenny's rookie year, but he started in Chicago. This is the first time Mike Tomlin has had a fresh NFL quarterback, face of the franchise guy, first round pick. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe Mike doesn't know how to develop a quarterback, or he doesn't know how to find the guys who know how to develop a quarterback. And people are always going to blame the player because they're the ones out there. They're the faces of the team. But part of it does fall on the coaches as well. And you've alluded to that, and I think a very well a well put way that was insightful that Mike Tomlin might be the issue that no one wants to admit to. And I wonder if part of that is the reason Kenny Pickett hasn't been successful. Have there been people have been saying that there's been no flashes of light that they've seen from Kenny Pickett. He's just this like bad. He's just bad. Have there been flashes of light for you as a fan that you've liked
Well, I mean, one that's like thinking like for this season or like last season
at
or
all?
just in general.
Because people
Well,
are
yeah,
saying,
I mean, last season, yeah. I mean, you think about everybody was those same people that are commenting those comment sections right now saying I've never seen a flash of light from Kenny Pickett are the same ones that were saying last season in Kenny We Trust when he threw those back-to-back game-winning touchdowns. So, yeah, I saw flashes of light through that, and then also this season when he threw that deep bomb to Calvin Austin III, I really thought that during the Raiders game, granted it was against the Raiders, but like now the Raiders actually have things figured out, so it makes you wonder, like, oh, was that team just trying to figure it out? Like, were they actually like pretty good and they were just figuring it out? Like, it's one of those things. But like, he threw that deep long bomb to Calvin Austin III. I'm like, that's the type of Pickett that I miss. Like, where was that Pickett? Why was he not throwing that? But like, yeah, I disagree with them. I do see flashes of light promise from Kenny Pickett. I don't think he's just some like random just vegetable out there. I mean, I do think that he lacks confidence. And I think the reason he lacks confidence is just because of what is around him. And I don't think, because obviously George Pickens doesn't believe in him. There's a lot of players that probably don't believe in him, including the fans. It's a bad place to be. He probably, honestly, would have been better off being drafted anywhere else. And maybe we could have tortured Malik Willis a little bit more. And I wish that I never said that because I love Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, but I'm sure this is probably horrible for him right now. And and those people that are listening right now, you are the reason why.
No, what are you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
No, you have always been very passionate about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was one of the few college players that I knew the name because again, I don't follow college as much. Kenny Pickett is one of the few college players I know of. He is one of two quarterbacks I can name who went to Pitt. The other is Dan Marino because I don't follow Pitt at all.
Wait, you're telling me? I guess you wouldn't know who that is. I was gonna mention
who?
Van Fleet.
Last name sounds familiar.
Let me get
Greta Van Fleet.
No, not the rock band. I hope not the rock band.
But no, you have been very passionate about Kenny Pickett his entire career. You loved Kenny Pickett. He was your Joe Burrow. He was your savior in a lot of ways when he was at Pitt. And I think you were very excited when the Steelers got him. And now it sounds like you're like
not Van Fleet. It was Van Pelt.
Oh, Scott Van Pelt?
Yeah, the coordinator for No, the guy that coordinates for the Browns. Alex Van Pelt.
Oh, no, I don't know who that
is. He played at Pitt.
I thought you were telling me the host of Sports Center went to the.
Yeah, Alex Van Pelt was. I'm almost positive he was a quarterback.
Apparently, he previously served as an assistant coach for the Bengals too.
Oh.
Well,
Van Pelt attended the University of Pittsburgh, where he was quarterback for the Panthers. When he graduated, Van Pelt held school passing records previously set by Dan Marino.
See, that shows how much my University of Pittsburgh knowledge is. But I knew who Kenny Pickett was because of Chus, because he loves Kenny Pickett. And so to hear him say he wishes the Steelers never drafted him now because he wants Kenny to have success somewhere else, that one hurts me in my heart.
Yeah.
Because
that was me and my friend had this discussion, and I wanted him on the show at some point, but like that was a couple months ago and our schedules have changed a lot. But my friend and I, who are both very big Pitt fans, we talked about this when he got drafted, and we said that this could be the make or break for Kenny because it's going to be the fans love that he's here. But as soon as he does bad, if he does bad, they're going to turn on him. and they're going to ruin him. The only reason that they didn't ruin Ben was because Ben had the confidence. He went in immediately and was 15-1, and then everybody just loved Big Ben. Like, he was just the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. And so, like, and then obviously he won 2 Super Bowls, and then from there, like, anytime people were like, "Oh, Ben sucks," you knew that he was like, "I don't care. I have 2 rings. We're good." The problem is Pickett, everyone's saying, is like dog water and trash and stuff like that. You know, I mean, if people are literally saying that they would rather have Mac Jones than Pickett. I'm like, that's not going to change anything. I feel like the problem is the offense too. Like, the offense isn't moving, you know, the offense ain't like changing. So like, you throwing in a different quarterback isn't going to make anything different. You throw in Mitch Trubisky, it's probably going to be the same offense. You throw Mason Rudolph in there, it's going to be the same offense. Like, it doesn't matter who you throw in there at this point. Next year, I feel like we'll see a lot. I've been saying that. Nobody believes me. But yes, I do believe that he would go somewhere else, because I feel like he would find success somewhere else. And then all of the Steelers fans will rejoice. And then Mitchell Trubisky will start next year. And then they'll get what they wanted.
Do you think Matt Canada will actually get fired this year?
Not this year, no. Once the season ends, I think he'll probably get fired going into the draft.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, they're not necessarily going to fire him. They're just going to let him go, because his contract ends this year. So they're just going to let him go. So that's why they just didn't want to fire him and have to pay him. That was the whole thing. So
maybe they'll extend him to a record-breaking deal for an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and then I don't know if I could be a Steelers fan after that.
Come to the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, well, if Kenny Pickett's there, if Kenny Pickett serves as your backup, maybe.
I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be mad about that. Let's see how Jake does, but...
Listen, I mean, like I said, I think that he can be good. It does hurt my soul that I had to say it, but I don't think, I honestly, if Kenny Pickett doesn't end up being the answer, I really just, I think that the Steelers need some time. I think it's just like the Patriots right now. The Patriots are being very much humbled right now. Those Patriots fans right now are very quiet. I think the Steelers fans need to be quiet too, and that's coming from a Steelers fan.
The ones I've talked to are still, the Patriots fans I've talked to are still cocky. They're like, "Oh, we have all the rings already. You can't talk to us." I'm like, dude, just like, the Bengals are better than the Patriots right now. Let's not.
Yeah, but they're still humbled. I mean, they're trying to figure out if Bill Belichick's even still relevant. You know, it's tough, but you know, it hurts my heart, man. I love Kenny Pickett. I've talked to the guy. He's a good guy. So
good guy.
I like Kenny a lot. I mean, him and Ben are one in the same. Him and Ben though are one in the same. They both are not the best actors, but I do still love my boy Kenny. He's a good guy.
Let's get Kenny on the show. Let's ask him these questions.
I would love to have him on the show, but I'm sure that a lot of people those damn Steeler fans would probably go in the comment section talking about how he's only thrown 100 yards passing, instead of actually getting to hear about Kenny Pickett, the life that he had in New Jersey, and like just like what kind of guy he was back then. You know, like what was, you know, his big success story at Pitt? Like what was your biggest highlight at Pitt? Like these are the questions I would ask Kenny, and then they would be like, "Why don't you throw touchdowns during games?" Like, shut up, comments. Like that's I would save him from having to deal with any interviews right now, because Steelers Nation sucks.
Make sure to comment below. Make sure to comment what you think about Kenny Pickett. Chus will be responding to all Kenny Pickett related comments. Thanks for watching that video, guys. If you want to check out a most recent full episode of No Buts About It, that's going to be right over here. Yeah, right there. Check that out. And if you just want to see more short clips, we're going to have one right over here for you to watch. Check out No Buts About It on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts, so you can listen to us on the go. Once again, have a great day and go do something nice for someone.